2.
Are we live?
I think we're live.
We're live. Hola, Unconventionals.
Hola, todos.
Happy Sunday, October 23rd. I don't know why I feel like I always need to tell you the date. I think it's because, and I say this every week, I'm shocked at how quickly time is flying by.
Yes.
Maybe you guys are feeling like that too. I guess that's true. What they say is you get older, time goes by so much faster. JP, remember when we were kids and we'd have 3 months off for summer vacation and it would feel like it would last a lifetime?
Yeah, so did school.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind a little bit of that slowdown period personally, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, probably not. All right, well, we're going to give some people some time to log in, and then we will start talking about Ecuador's big news for the week.
Yes, we have some very exciting news.
Well, some exciting,
yeah,
some
not
so exciting, but I think on balance, it's good news.
I would agree. Things are going well. We have no complaints.
Yep.
We are loving our lives in Ecuador. So just like every place else, it has the good and the bad.
Yep. All right. Now we're seeing some comments. Hola from Arizona.
Hola. How's the weather in Arizona and Tennessee? Is it still hot there?
San Antonio.
Oh, wow. Is it still hot there?
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask you all for a weather report.
Canada's checking in.
Hola, Canada, our Canadian friends. Love it.
Michigan, Tennessee. Wow.
Ooh, great fall. Oh, Carol, I bet the leaves are turning. I bet it's absolutely beautiful there right now. Tennessee is really pretty.
Yep. Oh, let's see.
And Leif,
great. Thanks, Holly. I'm glad it's helpful for you.
Leif, you're in Michigan. Hopefully that is going well for you. It's early, so. Oh wait, I was going to say no snow, but I saw in the news that Michigan already got pummeled with snow.
That's crazy. It's too early for snow.
Well, we used to get snow in September and October in Denver, so I guess It's not too early.
Yeah. All right, so I think we can go ahead and get started with the main stuff. We'll, of course, do your Q&A. We're not going to do like a live video presentation like we've been doing. We're just going to kind of talk about some of the news that has come out of Ecuador this week. And the big one is they have officially declared the end of the pandemic, the end of COVID in Ecuador right now, or at least as of Friday. There was not a single person hospitalized in Ecuador with COVID.
Yeah. Excellent news.
Yeah, so they have declared the end of it, which means that they've lifted almost all of the pandemic mandates, including the travel restrictions. So you are no longer required to show proof of vaccination or the negative PCR test to enter the country. So I know a lot of people are happy about that. The only remaining mandate is that you're supposed to wear a mask when you're in the hospital or a medical facility. Mm-hmm. Or if you're like riding some public transportation or in an enclosed space with a bunch of people. Although we're not really seeing a lot of people wear masks anymore, like in stores or anything, but you're supposed to.
I would say it's probably about, what do you think, JP, 20 to 30% of people now?
Yeah.
It is significantly less, and it has just been tapering off over the last few months. So it's excellent news, especially that there isn't anybody in the hospital anymore. And hopefully that will continue, because then, of course, you read the news and you read about all these new variants popping up all over the world. So fingers crossed they don't make it to Ecuador and nothing changes, because we need you to come. Yeah, you guys got to come to Ecuador. We need tourism.
Yes.
JP, what about that health certificate?
So the U.S. State Department issued a release that said that you're still required to submit the Traveler Declaration of Health form before entry into the country. Ecuador, when in the release I read from Ecuador, they didn't mention that, which is probably just an oversight. You know, it falls under the not volunteering information category. If it's still required, your airline should send that to you. They did for us. We flew United, right? When we went from Texas back to Quito, and the United sent us the document electronically. We filled it out and then attached it to our travel records through United. So we didn't have to like print anything or sign anything. It was all online.
Yeah, they didn't ask for any of that either. So it was really easy to go through customs. So that was very nice. Yep. We still had to show our vaccine certificates at that time, but that's just one less thing you all have to worry about. How awesome is that?
Yeah, please no political comments. As a reminder, we are a politics-free zone.
That we are.
And we love it that way.
Oh, and Ken, yeah, I was just reading about Cotopaxi too. So the park is still closed because they're feeling and hearing the tremors of potential volcanic activity around that park. So that started October 21st, and here we are on the 23rd, and they still have that park closed, but it hasn't erupted or anything like that. And there's that other volcano that we learned about after we lived in Cuenca a couple years.
Sangay.
Yeah, when it had erupted. So it's not that unusual for volcanoes to have some activity in Ecuador, but they're obviously taking it very seriously.
Most of the volcanoes are extinct or dormant. There's like different classifications. They're either extinct or dormant, although we do have a few that are active. A couple, I think, in Galapagos, and then there's a couple in the mainland. Sangay and Cotopaxi, I guess, is still active.
Yeah. But that's all we know for right now. So that was an interesting thing to read about.
Yeah.
We did not, did I just see something flicker?
Yeah, or hopefully we don't lose connection. Somebody asked if that's an Airbnb. Yes, we are traveling.
Yes.
And you guys are gonna have to wait till Thursday to find out where, although we'll probably talk about it on Tuesday. I think we're gonna do our Zoom happy hour for our patrons on Tuesday. We will probably talk about it then with our patrons, but right now it's a secret, but you guys are going to find out when we publish Thursday's video where we are.
Well, the good news is we're still getting comments, so I guess we did not lose internet connections. And yeah, the house is pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like stepping back in time. It's been nicely remodeled and renovated, but it's basically straight out of the 60s.
Yeah.
It feels very I Dream of Jeannie.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though.
So Susan, you said you missed the very beginning. So the news is that they have declared the end of the pandemic here in Ecuador, meaning you do not have to bring your proof of vaccine or a negative PCR test to enter the country.
Correct.
So we're very, very, very happy about that because there is nobody has been hospitalized with COVID. There's no one in the hospital. So they felt comfortable saying, okay, we can lift these mandates completely because Ecuador needs that tourism.
Yes. Yeah, we don't need to rehash all that.
Please
excited. Leave us a like, guys. Yes. Somebody, speaks. Please like this video.
Thank you. Please and thank you.
Yes.
Leave us a thumbs up.
Because that always tells YouTube to show it to more people, and we appreciate that.
I'll tell you guys, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you, JP. I'll tell you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes secret. So when I always say, leave us a like or leave us a thumbs up, JP is always laughing because by the end of us talking and me talking all day, I cannot for the life of me say thumbs up. And I'm sure it sounds like I'm slurring my words. I actually have a permanent retainer in my bottom teeth. And I guess I just kind of get tongue tied on the retainer, but sometimes we have to do a lot of takes and then I'm just like, oh, just leave us a like.
Yeah, that's why I tell her to say, leave us a like, but she always wants to say thumbs up, but it's funny because her tongue gets stuck and it comes out like thumbs up. Leave us a thumbs up.
Yeah, so sorry that maybe that was a little too much TMI, but
we're usually into our videos laughing profusely at our blunders.
Yes.
Okay, so the next piece of news is about the PARO, and that the 90 days ended on Friday?
October 14th.
October 14th, so a week ago Friday. They had more than 80 agreements that the government and the indigenous leaders came to during this process, and both sides seem kind of happy with the progress. So there isn't currently talk of another PARO. They are leaving the national strike like on the table as kind of a threat to make sure that the government actually continues to honor all of the agreements that they've come to. And everything that was unresolved, they assigned either a short, medium, or long-term time frame to address. And both sides agreed on the time frame. So everything that's still left to negotiate is still in process. The indigenous people have said they're happy with the state of things as they are right now, and that they are not planning another PARO. But they said that if the government reneges on what their agreements are or delays, or they think that they're not acting in good faith, they are saying that they will have another PARO. But we're hopeful that we're going to avoid that. And at least for the next year, they're saying that what I read in the news is that they don't expect there to be anything in the next year. So we're really hopeful about that.
Yeah, that is very good news. And this is exactly what we want. People need to be working together to provide the best for people in need. So go Ecuador.
Yes.
Teamwork.
Yeah speaks. As a hairstylist, can I move to Ecuador and still earn money to live?
Well, you can definitely come here and do hair, but you probably will have to significantly reduce your prices because a haircut can be as cheap as $5. So $5 to $20 is pretty common.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do that.
Colors are more, right? But there's still a fraction of what
Yeah.
what Amelia paid in the US.
Yes. And now I basically pay nothing because I hardly ever go get my hair done. And I certainly do not get it colored anymore.
Yeah.
But there is a demand for American stylists here as opposed to Ecuadorian stylists because the Ecuadorian hair is different and I have serious hair envy. It is thick and beautiful and luxurious, unlike this.
And it's all, although there is curly hair here,
There
it's
is
just
curly
not
hair.
as common.
Right.
So, oh, and always, as always, please leave us a super chat if you want to make sure we see your comment and respond to your question.
Yeah.
And that helps us continue doing what we do. And we
Yes.
appreciate that.
Yes, we do. Thank you. Yeah, these zip by, so it's hard for us to read everything.
Yeah.
Not to mention that would be really boring for you guys if we were just sitting here like this.
Yeah. Okay, so the next piece of news is Esmeraldas, the crime. There's been a crime wave in Esmeraldas, and it's been all over the national news. So it's generally we advise people to avoid that area, although we have heard from people who have gone there and said it was beautiful and they really had a nice time and enjoyed it. So again, it's probably parts of the area are probably okay, but other parts not so much. But due to its proximity to Colombia, it's a little bit more dangerous than other parts of Ecuador, especially right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is an area that we have kind of put on hold, honestly, since we moved to Ecuador, because it's always had a reputation of being a bit rougher. And like JP said, we've heard it's absolutely beautiful there. So we'd really like to go, but they kind of need to get things under control right now. There were some pretty sad articles about the terrorizing of the locals there because there's that gang war going on. And it's something I do not want to go and experience firsthand.
Yes.
We do not recommend you do that either.
Somebody asked if beer is expensive. And Cody, you're correct. Craft beers are a bit expensive, but they're actually really popular here. There's a lot of different craft breweries in Ecuador, local and national, and
Yeah,
they're really good, but they are about double the cost of the domestic brands like Club Verde or Club and Pilsener. Those are very cheap. You can buy a big bottle like that big for what, like $2.50, something like that, $3. And they're good beers. They're, you know, it's like the equivalent of a Budweiser or Miller Lite, that kind of thing.
I think it's actually better than
they
Budweiser.
Are better. So I would say it's more like a Corona or a Tecate.
Okay.
I would say it's closer to that. And yes, they are delicious. And the craft beers are really good craft beers in Ecuador. We're really impressed with those. Carol, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yes, Carol. Muchas gracias.
Let's see, what kind of dress-up clothes does one need or not for going to cultural events, symphony, etc. in Cuenca?
Well, if you're Ecuadorian, you could just go full ball gown. I'm kidding.
They dress really nice. Ecuadorians get dressed up. Men wear suits and ties. Women wear really nice dresses. The expats, not so much.
It's really, we see a little bit of everything. I don't wear really fancy clothes here. I do wear dresses on occasion, but they're more like business casual kind of stuff. And you'll see women wearing really high heels too, but a lot of people wear flat shoes here. Just, you don't have to wear really fancy clothes, but you certainly can if you want to, and nobody's going to look at you weird. And we've seen people going into church and going into some of these events in their cargo pants too. So it's pretty much anything goes. It is definitely live and let live, clothing included in that.
Yes.
If that made sense.
Vivir amar orar. I have such a hard time with vowels followed by consonants. Orar. Yeah, you have to hit the $sign below the comment box to do a super chat. I think it brings up a little pop-up that you can select what you want to do.
Yeah, and you have to have an account with YouTube, so maybe it's not actually working for you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you have to be logged into YouTube.
Because it gives us like a big giant banner so we can't miss it, which is really helpful when we're looking at the camera because we could see it out of the corner.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Carol's is a bright yellow.
Yes.
Bar. You should see Carol's super chat. If you don't, then there's something wrong with your YouTube interface.
That happens. I was trying to do well, we had our premiere the other day and I was trying to chat and tag people during the premiere on my personal account and it was not tagging properly. So it could just be a technical glitch.
Yeah, YouTube just added handles for everybody on YouTube and now it doesn't work for anybody. I'm not even sure how it's different than what it was before because I've been tagging people and our other channels for months and then they announced this big handle thing and now it doesn't work properly.
So speaking of announcements and clothing, H&M just opened their very first store in Quito, Ecuador. And I know there's mixed feelings on this because some people do not want these other brands coming into Ecuador and some people are super excited. Well, a lot of people were really excited because apparently people started lining up hours before the store opened and it was a line around the block. So this is a really big deal for Ecuador. And they're also getting that. So they open in Quito, which is a big mall in Quito. They're going to open another area in Quito and I think in Mall del Sol, which is in Guayaquil. And they're also opening Old Navy here. So it's going to be really interesting to go in and see what the prices are like, because on the flip side, when you have to bring stuff into Ecuador, it's more expensive. And when I think Old Navy, I think really inexpensive clothing.
Yeah. Yeah, the Old Navy's in Mall del Pacifico and Manta, at least the first one. H&M is in Key Centro and Quito. We've been to both of those malls. They're both nice. The Key Centro mall is, I think, the nicest mall that we've seen in Ecuador. It's also the biggest by far. It's like a Galleria in the United States. It's a really big, super nice mall with all the high-end stores, international brands like what are some of them that are in there? There's a DJI. That's all I care about. There's a DJI store where you can go buy drones and get your drone serviced. And that's where I got my iPhone gimbal. Vivir Amar Orar, you figured it out.
Yay.
Awesome.
Thumbs up.
Thank you.
And I said thumb.
Thumbs up.
Muchas gracias. Although you did not ask a question. So make sure you ask a question. Otherwise, we probably won't see it.
Yeah, you should be able to type a question in there when you do the super chat.
Yeah. Well,
let's see. Somebody asked about mold in Cuenca. We didn't see any in Cuenca.
Not in Cuenca.
Cuenca is a lot drier. There was a major, major problem on the coast in Olón where we lived. Anywhere between basically like Rio Chico or Mangro Alto north to Puerto Lopez is a mold problem, or even all the way really Puerto Lopez, maybe even to San Lorenzo. It's moldy.
Yeah. Well, it's more humid and you're on the ocean, so you're definitely going to see mold.
Yeah. But not in Manta. We didn't really see any.
No.
And Salinas is a lot drier too.
Salinas is drier too.
But that stretch of coast that we call the jungle is very moldy. And thank you, Ted.
Hey, Ted and Wendy.
Wendy and Ted.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Let's see. Hooray about the no mold. Yeah, I would guess that maybe if you were closer to, or if you were further west in Cuenca, you might see more of it because it's greener and damper. The further east in Cuenca you go, it's drier. Like in Chayuabamba, it's like a desert over there.
Yeah.
So kind of in the middle where we were in El Berhel, we didn't have a mold problem in our house at all, but it was also very drafty.
So Sharon, thank you for sharing that information. Nice black jeans and a pretty top. You're right. That's perfect. That's actually what I wore a lot when we went out, and a scarf. I like to accessorize with my Ecuadorian scarves.
Yeah. Thanks, Sharon.
Oh, and Cane Lazo.
Yeah. We love the Cane Lazos.
Yeah. You guys definitely got to try that. It hits the spot on those cool evenings.
Can you bring your dog into restaurants in Ecuador? Most of them, yes. And a lot of them have dog bowls with water out. It's very dog friendly.
Absolutely. I thought I saw something else, but I missed it.
There are no fall colors in Ecuador, except after the harvest, it kind of gets brown. The pastures and stuff can be brownish, but no, there's no fall. It's the same weather pretty much year round. It's just varies a little bit based on when they do their crops.
All right. Vivir Amar, I found your question. He said, I would like to know if I would like to know if there is any advantage for a gringo to be married with a Colombian citizen?
Like better opportunities for buying, no need for minimum retirement amount. No,
Not for
Colombian.
Colombian.
Unless you're talking about going to Colombia,
Yeah.
which we don't know. We don't know enough about the visa situation in Colombia.
But I imagine it's similar to the PARO visa in Ecuador, where, yeah, you definitely get a quicker road to citizenship and, well, permanent residency first and then citizenship if you're married to a native.
Yeah, most countries have that, but we don't know for sure about
Yes.
Colombia. But in Ecuador, yeah, you definitely get some advantages with your visa process. You still have to have proof of income and apply for the PARO visa.
But you skip the 2-year temporary and go right into permanent residency, which is really nice.
That is correct. Let's see, where were we? How is Daisy doing? Daisy is 14 at least. I adopted her, and she had already had a litter of puppies when I got her, and she was almost recovered from that. So I'm not really sure how old she is, but I've had her 11 years. So we think she's 13 or 14 or 15. She's okay. She's got arthritis, but she's on CBD oil, which really helps her actually.
Yeah, she seems pretty happy overall. And when we travel, she goes and stays with her doggy friends, and she has such a good time. So we don't ever worry.
Sharon says that she did have bad mold in her.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that's really odd because, I mean, we lived there 2.5 years. We never had mold in our house. And we had several friends, and not one of them ever said anything about mold.
Wow. That's terrible, Sharon. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we can say the whole city has mold because we didn't have it, but I'm sure, I mean, mold is an issue.
Yeah, and especially if something wasn't constructed properly or you had ventilation issues.
Or you're right on the river.
Oh, yeah.
That could be. We were kind of far away from the river.
Good point.
Yeah, Colada Morada. We had that.
That is really good too. Yes.
It's kind of a purple color, right? And
it
kind
is.
Of thick.
Yeah.
Chewy, little chewy.
It's really good. You guys are thirsty today. You guys have beverages on the brain.
Yeah.
Sunday fun day, I guess.
Are there open flower markets in Ecuador as in India? Yes.
Yes.
Lots of them. There's a big one in Cuenca that was voted top 10 most beautiful outdoor flower markets in the world by National Geographic magazine. And there was a really beautiful one in Loja. We see them all over Ecuador.
Yeah, we didn't actually, not on the coast though. Did we see any on the coast?
No, it was hard to find flowers on the coast because most of the flowers are grown in the highlands. So it wasn't as common to see those on the coast, but we did find some in Montanita. There was somebody that, like a flower shop that imported them, and they made like arrangements.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, see, we got a bunch.
I know. So for visitors, what type of credit debit card is best? We always recommend Charles Schwab. They're because they don't charge you ATM fees. Well, you have to pay the ATM fees and they refund them, and they don't charge international fees. There's some other cards that don't do that as well, like Capital One does not charge international fees. And isn't it Fidelity?
Fidelity.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some other banks that do that now too.
Hey, Kendall, how's Vilcabamba?
Coral Tea. Yes, we went to Chayuabamba in our Cuenca neighborhoods tour like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's a classic, an oldie but a goodie.
As far as getting, somebody asked about getting their Ecuadorian girlfriend in a visa for the U.S. We don't know anything about that. We do know that it's difficult and takes a long time to get any kind of visa.
Yeah, sorry, we don't know how it works going the other direction.
Wolf Creek Pass, Colorado. 90-mile-an-hour winds last night.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's scary.
I've driven through there.
So, Leif, I thought Fidelity has maybe I'm thinking their new debit card where they will refund the ATM fees, but maybe you don't want to use them as a credit card. I'm not sure, but we don't have a card. That's why I don't know for a fact.
Would you live in the U.S. if it would be like it was in the 80s or 90s? We probably would not have left, to be honest. We probably would have stayed. But because it's not like that anymore, we left. And now, after having our eyes opened and the veil lifted, we have no intention of moving back. There's a big world out there to explore. And we're very excited to be exploring it.
Absolutely.
And we have so many big plans over the next year to tour other countries. So stay tuned. We're going to basically do what we've been doing in Ecuador, we're going to do in other countries so that we can do better comparisons and from firsthand experience.
Yeah, like JP said, I'm super excited to go out and explore more. We were planning on doing that before the pandemic, but that's okay. I am really grateful for all of the trips we've made around Ecuador too. And we're not done exploring Ecuador because that tiny country is incredibly diverse. There's so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to start listing.
I know. Don't go on the list, Amelia. Yeah, Sharon, I agree with you. It seems like there would be a demand for someone from the US or Canada to go to Ecuador or really any Latin country and be a professional inspector. And I'm pretty sure they could charge a premium for that. Although we did just meet with a real estate agent who works with an inspector, their agency works with an inspector, and so that they understand the importance of that. I think if you work with a really good agent who's connected, they can help you out with that and have somebody go in that you pay,
right?
You know,
right.
But I think that would be a really good business for an expat to come to Ecuador and start offering inspection services.
Yeah, that is an excellent suggestion.
What is the Bitcoin scene like down there? Minimal. It's
like zero.
Yeah, well, it's not totally zero. It's just not mainstream at all because it's not technically legal. In fact, it's illegal according to the Constitution, but it's not really enforced. So, but we're not really into the crypto scene too much. There are other people that probably know a lot more about that than we do.
Yeah. So if somebody knows, please chime in on the conversation. I'm sure that would be helpful.
Yeah. What do you think at Chayuabamba? It looks like an American neighborhood. It really does. They don't have the walls or, between the houses like most of Latin America does. So it's a gated community with a big wall around it, more like a prison, I guess.
Oh, it's not like
really
that. The houses were beautiful. It's a neat area, and it's built up a lot over the last 3 years since we did our video. There's more shops and a grocery store, and it's nice because it is warmer and drier there compared to Cuenca.
I was talking about the Beverly Hills neighborhood.
That neighborhood was very fancy.
In fact, it's known as the Beverly Hills of Ecuador, Cuenca.
Yeah.
And it's really big, beautiful houses. Like the business owners that own the car dealerships and the banks and things live in this neighborhood, and it's really beautiful. And other professionals too, like lawyers, doctors, dentists. It's a very, very upscale neighborhood. It's actually beautiful. But once you go in through the gate, it's an armed or a guarded facility. And once you go into the neighborhood, there's no fences or walls between the houses. So everybody says it feels just like a neighborhood in the U.S.
That just made me think, remember when we did that mansion tour in, what's the name of that place? In Quito. Anyway, it was a gated community and the guard followed us like all throughout.
Oh, yeah. San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was way out of our price range. Something like that. I can't remember.
I can't remember the name of it. We did a video on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a car in Chayuabamba, definitely.
Yeah, we had friends that they lived in Chayuabamba, not in that really fancy neighborhood. There are other more affordable options there. And they took the bus for a while, but they got tired of it because they said it would take like an hour and a half to get into Cuenca. So something to consider. I mean, obviously you could take taxis, but it's going to be more expensive.
Thank you, Tyler. And that's great advice. Smash the like button.
Thanks, Tyler. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Geez, we've already been chatting away for 30 minutes.
Wow.
I know. Time just flies.
I grew up in Lima, Peru, when my dad worked there and really liked Peru. What are your thoughts about Peru as a retirement location?
My thought is I cannot wait to go and visit Peru, and not just Machu Picchu, which is where everybody goes. And JP, I do want to go there, but there's a lot to explore. And I think there's a lot of potential because it looks beautiful and it is affordable. Though my only thing is that I keep reading how they are revamping their visas. However, I haven't read that they've actually finished revamping the visas. So I haven't been able to find out a lot of really good information about the different types that are available, but we'll see how that progresses. I know that people go there and they absolutely love it, and it's definitely on our list.
Yes. Yeah, we're excited to go there.
I know.
It's on our short list.
Yeah. There's just when we just featured Peru in one of our videos, and looking through all of the different videos from other people and pictures, it just looks so amazing. And there's similarities to Ecuador, but there's so many differences too. The Rainbow Mountains are calling my name.
Yeah.
I know, JP, you're reading.
I'm trying to, there's lots of text.
I know, it's hard to keep track. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's, it is, if you want to buy property in Ecuador, it's cash. They don't have loans for expats. Their credit system's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand the credit system in other countries, and they don't accept it. So, or I should say, they just don't accept it as a form of credit history. So
Right.
You have to establish credit history here, and it's based on regular deposits into your bank account and like regular employment. It's not based on like how quickly you pay your bills and that kind of stuff.
Chris, we have seen basmati rice for sale in Super Maxi and Mega Maxi. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean it's going to be there all the time, but yes, you can get some different types of rice.
Yep. Let's see. Greetings from the snowy prairies of Canada. Do you deal with the National Bank in Ecuador, or still bank entirely out of the U.S.? So we have a brand new bank account with Banco Guayaquil. So we were really impressed with that process. We talked about that last week in our healthcare video. We had to actually open a bank account in my name in order to get the insurance reimbursements.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, we have a JEP account, which is a co-op or credit union. And we now have a Banco Guayaquil account, which is a regular bank. And we still have our bank accounts in the U.S. too.
Yeah, we're pretty bank saturated at the moment.
Yeah.
So Robert Jackson, muchas gracias.
Yep.
December meetup?
Probably not.
Probably not, because
we have more trips planned.
Yes. However, you guys can organize a meetup, and we encourage you to do so.
Yeah, we have a meetup channel in our Discord community, and people use it to organize events. So, and Cody, we have seen basmati rice occasionally in the Super Maxis and Mega Maxis. So you might just, it might not always be there. It might not be at the one you go to, but we have seen it pretty regularly.
Yeah.
We have different types of rice, but mostly it's just the brown or the white. They have really good wheat brown rice integral.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of.
Oh, that was Robert. I just saw that.
Yes,
yeah.
I know you're catching up with the reading. I jumped ahead.
Coral tea. The only thing we know about the credit system in Ecuador is what I said, is that it's based more on regular deposits from a job into a bank account. Yeah, so we don't know much more than that. And expats don't really qualify because we don't have jobs that deposit money regularly. Apparently, at some point, I think you have to be a citizen too. That was the other thing, is that when we were looking at my Banco Guayaquil account, they had loan stuff in there because they obviously don't know that we're expats, and it said that you have to be an Ecuadorian citizen to apply for any kind of loan.
Yeah, I don't know. You might want to I'm sure you could message a bank and ask them what their criteria is, like Banco Guayaquil, or look online, because I think they even had a way where you could apply for some of that stuff online. But honestly, we asked a real estate agent about it, and actually we've asked two, and they both said, no, that's not possible. So we just kind of stopped checking into it.
Yeah.
But, we probably should, because we should be working on our credit history regardless.
Yeah. Well, but I think you have to be a citizen anyway, which we're not yet.
So we're not. So it's a moot point.
Reese, chia and flax are both widely available, easy to find.
Yes, very popular here.
Yeah, we buy them in bags in the mercados as well as grocery stores, and all of the specialty shops have it. It's easy to find both of those.
And Cotacachi, Amy, we absolutely loved it there. It's gorgeous. It's very, very safe. So somebody asked about, Helena asked if it's safe for single women. We know a lot of single women that live in Ecuador in places like Cotacachi and Cuenca. I'm not going to list them all, but
yeah, all throughout Ecuador.
Yeah.
A lot in Vilcabamba. We met a lot on the street.
Yes.
When we were walking around filming our video in Vilcabamba, there were a lot of people.
Yeah. And so there's also groups of single women. So you can go out, if you're nervous about going out by yourself, you can go out and do hikes and other activities with other women. And Cotacachi is a great place. It is very quiet there. They kind of roll up the sidewalks around like 9 o'clock. So if you want a lot of nightlife, that is probably not the place for you, but you could go over to Otavalo. That is only 10 to 15 minutes away. Yeah. We're not nightlife people, so we can't really tell you much about that.
No. We are still running our 20% discount on our Ecuador expat fast track e-course if you guys are interested. Since we've been traveling, I just haven't had a chance to change anything. So I just let the discount run. So I think I'm just going to call it the month of October 20% discount because I'm not going to have any time to change that.
Oh yeah, because I thought that had ended, but hey, whatever. It's all good.
Any killer bees or similar. They have what's called a tarantula hawk, which is apparently the top 1 or 2 most painful things that you can ever experience in your life. It looks like a big wasp, and it's huge, but they pretty much just eat tarantulas.
Yeah, they're not interested in people.
Yeah, but you can hear them coming too, so you have plenty of time to get out of the way because they sound like a Chinook helicopter. Thank you, Bridget.
Brigetti J.
I just wanted to say thank you from an Ecuadorian living in California. Thank you for saying wonderful things about my country. Keep up the good work. Awesome.
Thank you so much. We love Ecuador.
I know. We love to hear that from other Ecuadorians.
We do.
Because we do think, no place is perfect. We say that all the time, but we definitely think the good far outweighs the bad in Ecuador.
Ecuador is very special.
Carol says, thank you, Carol.
Yes, thanks, Carol.
We'll fly with 1 cat, 4 suitcases, and 2 wheeled bins. Do you advise 1 fly to Quito plus Latam to Cuenca, or 2 fly to Guayaquil and get a driver? If you're coming with a cat, I don't know.
4 suitcases, 2 wheeled bins. That's all. I would fly to Guayaquil and get a driver. That's a lot of luggage. And also make sure you check the luggage embargoes and that you can actually bring all of that stuff with you, because
we just heard from someone that is planning to fly here November 1st, and there's a luggage embargo and they can only bring 2 suitcases.
And that's been in effect for a while now. So, and you need to go and kind of dig into the website, because I know that there's been a couple of people that have received conflicting information from the airline, but that is an Ecuador policy that is currently in effect.
Yep.
Somebody just spammed us.
I know. I'm going to report them right now. Unwanted spam.
I would love to know how these spammers get in here when I can barely even send an email.
I know. We got spammed. Our channel got spammed the other day. I spent 4 hours going in and cleaning out all the spam from our channel.
Yeah, crazy.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry. Muchas gracias.
I'm planning my trip. If you could only visit 1 beach town in Ecuador, which would it be? How is access from Quito or Cuenca?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
1 beach town.
Alone is my favorite.
I would say that is where I would go. Alone it's we've talked about that we would like to go back there and vacation.
Yeah.
I have no interest in living there again. I don't regret living there. I can't handle the small town vibe. But as far as vacation, it's awesome. It is a great place to go spend a week or 2 weeks or a month even.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things to do because you've got the beautiful ocean and the beach is long and flat. You can go from Olón to Puerto Lopez and take one of the tours. Depending on when you come, you can go whale watching or go to Isla de la Plata. You can go south and check out Salinas. You can go to Montanita, which is surfing and party town. Plus you've got the jungle there, so you can go and see the monos. It's a great location.
The howler monkeys.
The howler monkeys. However, you'll need to turn off airplane mode. What the hell?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Silent.
My phone just started talking to me, which is funny.
Okay. Squirrel.
Yeah, sorry.
Amelia, squirrel.
Anyway, but your question, for us, we like to go to Guayaquil and then take the CLP bus to Olón.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no direct way to get there, but I think that's
there
the
may be
way.
Now. There was talk. I don't know if there is now, but there was talk of a direct route from Cuenca to the coast, but I'm not sure if they've activated that yet. We haven't seen anything in the news about it. But yeah, the CLP bus is an express bus from the Terminal Terrestre in Guayaquil, which is right by the airport, straight to Olón. It
Right.
stops in Montanita and Alone. Those are the only 2 stops. And it's really comfortable and
It
cheap.
is.
It's like only it was like $8 or $9 per ticket.
Yeah, and it's safe.
Jody Smith says, are you constantly moving from place to place because you want to, or are you actually looking for a place to grow some roots and settle down? My wife and I are visiting Cuenca to feel out the area.
Well, first of all, Jody, thank you very much. And secondly, because we want to.
Yeah.
We really wanted to experience all the different aspects of Ecuador, and I do not regret any of it, any of our moves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've all been different and unusual and exciting in their own way.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we also have a YouTube channel. So it's a lot different for us than it is for like a typical expat who is moving abroad looking for a place to settle down. We have to have new content. So we have to be places where we can go easily film things that would be interesting to our audience. And if we just stayed in one spot the whole time, then our channel would be very boring after a while.
Yeah, but we would definitely recommend that you check out more than one place regardless, because what if you get to Cuenca and you don't like it? That can happen. The altitude could bother you, or it could be too chilly, or maybe you really want to live at the coast. I've met people who do both. They've lived in Ecuador for a long time and they split up their time between Cuenca and the coast. So you have options.
Yes, there are options.
There are always options.
Linda, thank you very much. How can one have pre-existing conditions covered when they are denied during the first 2 years of having health insurance there? So if you go on the IESS plan, they're covered after a 3-month wait. On private, we have heard that there's a company insuring pre-existing conditions after a 12-month wait now. You would need to talk with Carlos at Blue Box about that. And as far as you don't need, that's the thing about Ecuador, is you really don't need insurance. The price of the whole thing is less than what we were paying for insurance and deductibles and co-pays in the United States. We use our insurance because we have it, and why not? But it's still cheaper. Like everything that I just had done, we talked about last week in the live stream, it was like the total cost of everything was under $1,000. In the US, it probably would have been more like 10,000 or more.
Oh yeah. We wouldn't have been able to do it out of pocket. That would have been, can you imagine how
it
stressful that would have been?
It would have taken all of our savings. In the US here, it was less than 1,000. We're going to get basically like 85% of that back from our insurance company, or 80%, something like that.
But even the 1,000 was doable.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so different here. You got to really change your mindset, because the price of healthcare is regulated, and doctor's visits have a set price. Doesn't matter where you go, you're going to pay the same. Like specialists charge more, but the general practitioners have a set fee. I think it's $35 now. It was $25 when we moved here. Excuse me. All this talking.
So Carol, I saw you said you're a platinum member, so you could bring the extra luggage, and that is awesome. I would still recommend just hiring a driver from Guayaquil and going to Cuenca that route, because it'll probably be easier than trying to manage all of that stuff and your kitty cat.
And also your platinum membership, if you're flying to Ecuador on American or one of the other airlines, unless it's platinum on LATAM, then it may not apply, even though you can book the flight like through American and then LATAM to Cuenca. They have different rules, and they may not honor your status for that.
And speaking of that, we always recommend, I know people book it all the way through, and granted, we haven't checked the flights. Allegedly, LATAM has started adding in a lot more flights, but the flights sometimes from Cuenca to Quito, or from Quito to Cuenca are terrible times. And sometimes they'll have you on a flight at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you get in at midnight, and you're stuck in the airport for 7 hours. So we do not recommend you do that. So definitely play around with your options when it comes to flying.
Yeah, I think especially with a cat, I think your best bet is to try to get a good arrival time in Guayaquil and hire a driver. It's like a 3.5 hour drive. So if your driver can pick you up at the airport, or there's also the Airport Suites Hotel.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
I can't remember. There's an airport close to the hotel. It's not very nice. I mean, it's clean. It's older, but they take pets, so you could go stay there. We had a tiny room, but we just stayed there overnight. We got in late. It was like 9 at night or 10 at night. We went there, and Edwin came and picked us up the next morning at 8 a.m. and we were off to Cuenca. It was really an ideal situation.
Yes.
Thank you, CJ.
Muchas gracias, CJ.
I don't see a question from CJ, and we are way behind.
Oh no, that happens.
Yeah, Cuenca has 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, wet and dry, cloudy and mostly sunny.
True.
Internet connectivity is bad, guys. Yes, we're in an Airbnb right now that has 10 megabyte download and I think 10 megabyte upload. It's like the worst internet plan that we've seen on from all of our Airbnbs.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes, and it is disappointing. So thanks for letting us know, because that may make a difference in our Zoom happy hour plans.
Yeah, we probably won't. We're going to be traveling next weekend too, so we probably will not have one next week.
We'll have our Zoom happy hour.
Well, Zoom works a little bit differently. It's a much lower quality. It's a 780p instead of a 720p instead of 1080p.
Oh, Fred said it's blurry. Ugh, sorry about that, guys. But thanks for hanging in with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it might be better once we're done and it compiles. It may be better.
Well, and you guys can still, I guess, hear my nasally voice.
It's probably down grading it to 720p so that it's anyway.
So it's functioning
properly.
It is what
it is.
Well, at least we're getting all of your chats, so thank you.
Yeah, I know that we love the Airbnb. The location is great, but the internet it's not great. Maybe we look better with the gauzy.
Yeah,
the gauze.
Yeah. It's this special gauze filter, you guys.
Yeah.
It works wonders for the wrinkles.
Oh, good. Some people are saying it's not blurry, so it might actually be your internet connection. Yeah, we had somebody say they couldn't watch our videos, and I was like, oh no, is there something wrong? And I was freaking out, and they're like, oh, I live in the country and I have a really slow internet connection. Like, I went through all this stuff to make sure everything was working, and it was his internet connection.
Well, because, we do have, I'm sure you guys do too. We have technical difficulties. Like JP says, NFW, nothing freaking works.
That's the G-rated
yes,
version.
That was we're a G-rated channel. 99% of the time.
Yeah. So anyway, a week from Monday is my birthday. So we're going to take next Sunday off.
Yes.
I'd like to take the entire day off if we can do that.
I would love that, JP. We can absolutely do that. Oh, wow. We have Ulysses in Lima. Very cool. Lima is also on the brain today.
I know. I cannot wait to go to Peru.
Yes.
I know. It's always, especially Machu Picchu, but Lima as well. I've always wanted to see it.
I know I had a friend go there quite a few years ago, and she absolutely loved it, and she never left Lima. So there's a lot to explore. JP, happy birthday.
Yes.
Thank you, Ava and Carol. I'll say thank you for JP. I don't think you saw that. The comments are going fast.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I know it's hard to believe another year has gone by.
I know. Time is just flying, as I said.
Yeah, which one do you prefer, hiking in Ecuador or driving in the U.S. traffic? Yeah, that's like saying, which do you prefer, like a night out on the town with a gourmet dinner or a colonoscopy?
Wow, that is very extreme.
Yeah, Ecuador is so beautiful.
So, Mark, you asked, have things changed in Cuenca regarding crime since you were there last? So we've spent quite a bit of time in Cuenca over the last several months, and we have heard that it has increased. We have not really experienced any of that firsthand. And we have also heard from other people, other viewers and patrons, that they have spent some time in Cuenca recently and weeks, walked all over the place, and they felt totally fine. But you obviously need to be on guard. I did have another friend of mine just tell me that she said things have gotten quieter. And this was I just asked her on Wednesday. So let's keep our fingers crossed that things are calming down.
Yes. Somebody asked if you can flush the toilet paper in Cuenca. It depends on where you're staying. Some places, yes, they'll have, if not, they should have a sign up
They
or
should tell
that
you.
it says don't flush the paper. Most of the public buildings, you're not, and especially in El Centro, you're not supposed to flush the toilet paper.
Yes. Hey, Bernie, happy birthday tomorrow. Hopefully you
Awesome.
will be here joining us by 65 or sooner.
Yep.
And Leif, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Leif. Oh, let's see. Where are we here? Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Contribution to the birthday dinner.
Oh, nice. Ooh,
I
birthday
know.
dinner.
I know. Sunday
I haven't even
night
thought
birthday
about that
dinner.
yet.
If we'll have to see if any place is open.
I'm sure we'll figure something out, JP.
Okay, safe and awesome, but the elevation and weather is difficult. Yeah, in Cuenca. Yeah,
that can be for sure. Unfortunately, high altitude, it's rough. It's going to be interesting to see how we do in some of the areas that we want to visit in Peru because they're pretty high. Colombia is not as high, JP.
well, it depends on what part you're in, but Bogota's still high.
But I thought Bogota was only around 7,300 feet.
Is it? I
Yeah.
thought that was Medellin. No,
I don't know.
I don't remember now.
I don't remember
We'll have to
either.
memorize all of the elevations.
Well, we're planning a trip to Colombia. I guess that's a spoiler, but
Yes.
I'm not saying when, but also because we haven't decided yet. So
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you if I wanted to, but we'll have all of that information ready.
Tom, I don't know about the Italian restaurant in Guayaquil that looks like a lake on the ceiling.
Wow.
That sounds cool.
That does sound cool.
Mal del Sol, yes, it's still there, and it's we usually stay in the Sheraton across the street from Mal del Sol because it has a walking bridge over that main intersection. So yeah, Mal del Sol is super nice.
It is super nice. Wow, that Italian restaurant sounds really cool.
Thanks, Apocalypse Survivor.
I love that, Dave, and thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Is the apocalypse over? Did
I
miss it?
I guess depending on your perspective, it is ongoing,
Yeah,
right?
I know. I think I have some more like
The
it.
way
It's
the
like
world is.
ongoing. Oh wow, look at that. $135,000 for a 5-day stay due to a concussion.
Oh my gosh, Maurice,
in Texas.
Mauricio, that's awful.
That is horrible.
That is ridiculous. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear you had to stay in the hospital, period. But then to add injury to insult with that bill is painful. Wow. Oh, 8,000 feet in Bogota. Muchas gracias.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty high.
Okay.
That's almost as high as Cuenca, not quite.
Not as high as Quito.
Let's see. Boy, I'm losing the comments here. Okay, let's just skip to the bottom. Colombia
Okay.
is great. Sure, you will love Medellin, city of eternal spring, like Ecuador and many other pueblos and regions to see. I know I cannot wait to go to Medellin. I want to see Bogota too. There's like a dozen cities in Colombia I cannot wait to go visit. Cartagena is the biggest one though.
Yeah, but we're hearing a lot from other people about Santa Marta, so I think we need to check that place out. I think it's Santa Marta.
We have not been to Machu Picchu yet. We've never been to Peru yet, so it's on the list.
That has been on my list for a long time, especially since we're such fans of hiking.
Yeah. Do you plan another collab with another YouTuber? We don't have anything.
We don't have anything
planned
in the works at the moment.
Yeah.
We haven't done one in a while.
Yeah, it's been like almost 2 years, I think.
We talk to a lot of other YouTubers a lot, but we just don't end up. It's more just a strategy behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah, the collabs work really well for smaller channels to help grow in the beginning. They don't work as well once you get above 10,000 subscribers. It's a lot of work without a lot of benefit. And if we find too that our audience typically doesn't necessarily like the content from the other channels, so there's not, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So there, even though we think that it will be beneficial, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot better when it just kind of happens spontaneously, which we've had that happen to us on occasion, and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun when it's more spontaneous.
Yes.
It's not as much fun if we try to organize something and
yes.
Yeah. How is JP's health doing? I'm still here.
Yeah, JP's doing well.
I'm still standing after all this time.
You're singing. Nice.
I'm doing all right. My back's killing me right now, but
it is.
It is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was thinking about pulling out the CBD oil, but then it might put me to sleep.
Well, you could only take a couple drops.
Yeah.
But maybe wait till we're done, JP. Because, I get all energized from this. So I'm going to be raring to go, which is probably good since we have some work to do.
Yeah.
Sundays are actually a work day for us, which is just fine. That is the beauty of what we do, because we can create our own schedule. So I am not complaining at all.
Yeah. Okay. So where do we recommend where there is a military community in Ecuador? Probably Cuenca. They're talking about opening a VA clinic
Oh,
in
yeah.
Cuenca because I think they have enough VA veterans. They have enough veterans there to warrant a VA clinic. So I think that they're planning on, I think that's in the works. I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of getting it done now.
Yeah, we're curious to hear how
Cuenca,
that goes.
if you're a military veteran, that's going to be the place to go, because then you're going to get VA benefits there. That would be awesome.
That would be great. I know people would really appreciate that.
Oh, sorry to hear about that, about you breaking your back in the military.
Screwed and pinned together.
Yeah,
yikes.
I can relate to that. So is mine. And mine looks like the Eiffel Tower.
I don't know if Colombia has VA benefits, but I know other countries do. So you just have to check. Yeah, we just heard about that a couple months ago. So we'll keep you posted on the potential hospital.
Yeah, as soon as we know more, like where and where it's going to be and when it's going to open, we'll talk about the VA hospital, or it's a clinic. It's not being called a hospital. It's being called a VA clinic, which I guess is common. There are VA clinics around the world. In some places, I guess they even have hospitals.
And Mets fan 1023, yes, we do keep in touch with Chinu and Abin and little Ekta, and they're doing very well. We saw them just a couple months ago. The baby, she's growing. I can't even really call her a baby anymore. She is growing so fast. I think that kid's going to be tall.
Yeah. She's very vocal too.
Yes, she likes to sing, unless you look at her and then she stops. She's super cute.
Yeah, I thought there was a VA hospital in Panama City. Yeah. Let's see. How have you guys been able to take any tours of the old ruins of the Mayans and Aztecs and Aztec autocorrect Aztec civilizations that are in Ecuador? There's no Aztec in Ecuador or Mayan. It's Inca.
It's Inca. And yes, we went to Inca Pirca, which is, what is that, 2 hours?
Hour and a half northeast of Cuenca.
It's amazing.
Inca Pirca. There's also Inca ruins in the city of Cuenca.
Yeah.
Pumapungo is an Inca ruins site. It's really cool.
Oh, it's a beautiful park. And it's a really nice museum. It's one of my favorite places to go and visit every time we go to Cuenca. And you can walk there. It's super close.
How do these guys find us?
Oh, do we get spammed again?
More spam.
Oh, spammers. What are you going to do? Block. We all have to deal with it, just like with the spam texts, which I really do not like. Those are very irritating. Oh, there's another one. Jeez.
I know. There's a bunch.
Jeez Louise.
Getting rid of all of them.
So, Bernie, how has the digital nomad visa been working? I can work remotely with my U.S. job. Oh, you're in the Cayman Islands now. Nice. Well, it's official, which I think is hilarious because it was official. They were already doing it months ago, but they announced that it became official in September. And from what we understand, it's going just fine. You have to, what is the minimum? $12.75 a month?
Yes.
You have to show that, and you have to have an LLC. They have some different requirements. You have to prove that you're self-employed, basically. And you get a 2-year temporary residency, which you can actually convert that into permanent as long as you don't leave for more than 90 days. So it's actually a really good option if you want to come to Ecuador to stay long-term and turn that into a permanent home. And yeah, it's definitely going to be more affordable than the Cayman Islands.
Yep. Thank you, Salvador. He said our live videos are cool.
Oh, well, thank you.
How are bugs and roaches? In the mountains, the bugs are not bad. Not at all. I mean, you've got flies and some fruit flies and gnats occasionally, but not as many mosquitoes as the coast.
No. Not
as many bugs in general as the coast. The coast, there's bugs.
Yeah. And Salinas and Manta was not that bad. There were some seasonal bugs, but alone there were some big bugs because it was so much more humid there, but it wasn't like, terrifying. I was never thinking that we had to call the exterminator, although we did have a bug outbreak once in some package of food. So that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, they were like little beetles that came in our beans. They were in the beans, right?
They were in the beans.
It reminded me of that scene out of The Mummy when Brendan Fraser was chased by all of those beetles, only they were really small, but they looked just like that. And they went in like a herd, and they were everywhere. It was kind of a nightmare.
Yes.
That wasn't alone.
But we persevered, and we did not need to call an exterminator.
Yeah.
And there's, they have those little no-see-ums or chiggers on the beach, but that's seasonal too. They suck though. Man, you get bit by those, they itch so bad, but you just have to use bug repellent.
Thanks, DGDW.
DGDW.
GGDW. That's a tongue twister. Yep. Smash the like button.
Apparently for you.
I'm having a hard time.
That's your version of my thumbs up.
Yeah. Wow, somebody found Inca artifacts in the beach in Esmeralda.
Wow,
That's cool.
that is really cool. Oh yeah, I guess you couldn't leave the country with it, but that's still very cool. Can you imagine?
What's the best time of year to visit Cotacachi? Probably the sunny season is like October through April.
Yeah, we went in August. Wasn't it August?
September.
Oh, was it September?
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. However, it was cool in the evenings, but the weather was perfect. It was cloudy part of the time, but then we also had full sun. So it's really, gosh, it's so pretty. We've been talking about going back there too. So I think that's going to be happening in the short term.
Yeah.
There's a really good Indian restaurant there. We're always motivated by food, just like Daisy.
Yeah. We'll drive for Indian food.
Yes.
Thanks, Reba. Thank you for great information.
Thank you, Reba.
Appreciate that. We already answered her question.
Yes.
Yes, you can be a dual citizen with Ecuador and the United States.
Yes.
Let's see, where are we?
DL wants to know who's your hairstylist. That is all JP. He's been working on the goatee.
Not working on it. I'm just leaving it alone.
Oh, okay.
I
don't know.
Man, it's almost as gray as your hair.
I know. We're very nicely coordinated now.
Yeah. Who's your hairstylist?
That was funny.
How many days is a visitor visa for Americans? 90 days. You get that at the airport. Unlike Mexico, which now just determines based on how much they like you at the airport, how long your stay is. In Ecuador, it's 90 days. Everybody gets the same. And it's for 12 months based on the date of first entry.
Yes.
Not consecutive though. So you can go and come back. You just can't be in the country more than 90 days for that year.
Oh, I have an itchy nose. Sorry, everybody.
Oh,
allergies.
What's this? Azalopeno?
Azalopeno? I don't know.
Hi.
Hola. We're glad you're enjoying the e-course and awesome that you're getting your visa. That's very exciting.
Yeah. Where you see, in terms of expat community, where you guys live in Ecuador, is there a bigger population of European expats or American expats? It really depends on where you live. Where we live,
I would say
very few expats.
Yeah.
I would say we live with Ecuadorians now.
But however, every place we've lived, it's been almost all American and Canadian expats.
Yeah.
Alone had more Europeans and then Latin American, but they weren't living there full time. They have a lot of people that come through for the surfing.
Can I do the visa process without being in Ecuador? We recommend starting it before you come to Ecuador. It depends on the type of visa, but you may need to actually go get paperwork physically. I had to go to the university twice to get the documents for my professional visa. So it depends on what you're doing and how complicated it is, but you may actually have to go physically to places, and it's easier to do that if you start before you leave home.
Yeah, but if you're in Ecuador, you can certainly go ahead and meet with a visa agent and get a good idea of what all you need.
Yes.
We did that. We started it in Ecuador when we were on our exploratory trip and then went home and finished it up and then came back. And then got our visa in Ecuador. We know there's a lot of different ways you can do it.
Yep.
But it definitely helps if you're in the States or your home country to get whatever extra paperwork you might need.
Yeah, Kendall says that living in Ecuador is kind of like glamping. It depends on where you are. Like,
gaps in the doors. Yeah.
Yeah. So this our place in Manta and where we live now, it's just like any place in the United States. I mean, it's double pane windows and everything is sealed. There's no drafts. But when we lived in Olón and Cuenca, it was a lot like glamping.
Yeah, especially Cuenca. So we had a really big propane heater, which normally I would think was unsafe, because you're supposed to vent the space. But because we had so many gaps in our windows and doors, it was never an issue, which is also why we needed that heater, because it was cold.
Well, somebody was an exchange student in 1985 in
cool.
Cuenca. That is so cool.
That is awesome. Wow.
And they're still in touch with 200 people. That is really neat.
Wow. That is really cool. Boy, I bet you have some awesome memories and photos.
No, the vaccine is not mandatory.
No.
So they've lifted all the COVID restrictions, except for you're supposed to wear a mask if you go into a medical facility. But other than that, it's pretty much over.
How many times, Patty asked, how many times have we moved in Ecuador? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4? Four?
We're in our 4th place.
Yes. And there'll be more to come. Who would have thought? I lived in my last house for 12 years. I never liked moving. And now look at me. See what you've done.
Yeah. Do Ecuadorian locals speak English or are they Spanish only? It depends on where you are. But for the most part, Ecuador is a Spanish-speaking country.
Yeah.
But in Cuenca and Vilcabamba, Cotacachi, and parts of Quito and Guayaquil, you're going to find more English speakers. But the rest of the country is pretty Spanish only.
Didn't Ecuador rate last when it came to the amount of English spoken in all of the Latin countries?
Yeah, they looked at, in all of Latin America, there was a company that did a study last year that found that Ecuador was dead last for the number of English speakers per capita. But again, though, they're all located in specific areas where the expats tend to live.
Right. Or if there's a lot of tourist areas.
Or international.
Right.
Like Quito is much higher because of all the international, like the consulates and stuff. And they have really good schools in the Quito area, and they teach the kids English and sometimes German and French.
Well, and we ran into English speakers in Mindo because it's such a big tourist destination.
Yep.
But you should learn some Spanish.
Yep. George A says, where are you now? We're not saying.
Nope, it's a secret.
You'll find out on Thursday. Or if you're a patron at the Zoom happy hour level, you'll find out on Tuesday.
Yes.
So let's see. In fact, I should probably put a link if you guys want to join we have a really awesome community. Where is that link? Join the Unconventional community.
Well, while you're doing that, sorry, I don't see your name right now, but you asked if we're light movers or if we use a moving company. We usually just use a van. Don't we have an old video of all of our stuff Tetris packed into Edwin's van? Yeah, when we moved to the coast. So we still have more than I think we realized, but we're pretty light.
Yeah.
But there are moving companies here if you need that.
Yeah. Yeah. Ecuador just removed the entry requirements. No COVID test is required and no negative PCR test anymore as of Thursday, October 20th.
Yes.
Exchange student in 85. Yeah. I just can't even imagine what it was like back then. It's changed so much. We know so many locals that we know that it's changed a lot in that time. Really in the last 15 years, they say it's, since they went on the dollar, it's just that completely transformed the country.
So are you still speaking Spanish? That's my question.
Yeah. Can you still speak Spanish?
Yes.
After all these years?
Yeah, because it's hard if you don't practice. At least it is for me. And that's what they say for everybody. So I'd be curious to hear what you have to say, Mark.
Yeah. Quechua is still widely spoken among the indigenous communities.
Yeah, it's interesting. And it's some of the words are woven into the language.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Husband from Cochanque.
Cochanque? I don't know where that is,
just
Carla.
To be a missionary in Quito, any advice for a family moving there?
Practice your Spanish.
Yeah.
Geez, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Really. I mean, we know a lot of people that have kids that have moved here.
Yeah.
And they really, really like it because they say it's like when we were kids, when we grew up in the 80s in the United States. It's that's kind of what it is in Ecuador. So your kids are going to have a little bit more, I would say, how would you even say it? Like present childhood where they actually interact with people and go outside and play. And it's not, kids play in the street. They play soccer. They ride their bikes around in the street here. They go to the park and play. It's a lot like when we were kids.
Yeah. So I think the other thing to keep in mind is that the pace is slower here, and you just have to learn the tranquilo attitude, or because sometimes it may take you more than one time to get things done, and people don't always offer up all of the information. So they'll just tell you step number one and instead of step number 2 and 3 as well, which can be a bit frustrating, but everything will just work out.
There are I wouldn't call what we have, the wet season is not a monsoon season here. We do have floods occasionally where it rains a lot in one area and it floods, but there are no hurricanes in Ecuador. They form west off the coast, and then they form west off of the African coast, and then they head west, and then they circle up and hit the US. Well, here they head west and then they circle around like Hawaii or go up Mexico to California. Ecuador does not have hurricanes.
No, and Laura, she just asked if we've been to Los Frailes. Can you believe it, Laura? No.
We drove by it multiple times.
And we never just pulled in. Shame on us. Because, yeah, it does look gorgeous. But we had a trip planned a couple different times and the weather was crappy, so we just scrapped it. So we'll have to do that when we go back to Olón, JP.
Yeah.
It's not really that far.
Yeah, the parks in Cuenca are packed on Sundays. That is true. They're packed all the time.
Yeah.
They have Zumba during the week every morning in some of the parks, and the kids are playing all the time. It's really neat to see.
Yeah, and people use all the outdoor exercise equipment too. It is really nice.
I forget the Spanish when you leave. You can buy for. Yeah, exactly, Tom.
Well, you just said exactly.
Yeah. Well, you forget it when you leave, but then you pick it up, and when you're in the country, you can speak like before.
You didn't say
worry.
it out loud. Inflation rising in Ecuador. It has been rising slowly but surely. The last I read in the news, it was at 4.12%. So it has gone up, because weren't we in like 2.77 when we did our inflation video?
No, it was 3.81.
Oh. Okay.
It's been hovering right around the 4% mark, which is a lot higher. It was hovering around 0% for the 5 years previously. So it's definitely a lot higher than 0%, but it's not nearly as high as other parts of the world.
So Laura asked, what are the other sports or exercise of interest other than soccer? Well, there is Zumba. So paddleball has popped up all over the country, which apparently is not the same as pickleball. I have never played either, so I cannot comment other than the fact that we are seeing the paddle as in PADEL, which I thought was pickleball, and then I did a little research and it is not. I think there may be pickleball in Cuenca. Volleyball is popular here. They do that. What's the one? They do like the indoor soccer with the little ball.
Yeah, indoor soccer, but they play it outdoors on a concrete court. It looks painful because they fall down on concrete.
Yeah, some people play tennis and basketball. Golf is not very popular here. There are not very many golf courses. Yeah,
there's like 4 or 5 golf courses, I think, in the whole country.
Perla de Caribe Cuba said that you sound like Olaf from Frozen.
I haven't watched that enough to know. I've only watched it once, so I don't really know who Olaf is. Olaf was the little guy that's like shaped like a bowling pin, right?
I think so. Now we're going to have to go and find a YouTube clip and listen to it.
I know, my voice is a little hoarse. We've been filming a lot, so I've been talking more than normal. Let's see. How long is the flight, or when's the flight leave for Caracas from Quito? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you just have to look at the airlines to see, and they change too.
What are the flight times? Yeah, I don't know. Do they have bowling? We've only seen bowling in a couple places. Manta has a bowling alley. Well, honestly, that's the only place I've ever seen it, but
I'm sure there's others. Yeah. I think we saw one in Guayaquil one time. Guayaquil.
Yes.
Well, let's see. Bill keeps asking if we've tried chicha. Have we tried chicha?
I think we have. I think we had a few years ago when we first got here.
It sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
Yeah, golf may be big in Cuenca, but Rick, I don't, compared to the United States where there's golf courses all over the place, we just don't see very many golf courses in Ecuador. So there's that one in Monte Cristi, and then in Cuenca, and there's a golf course in Guayaquil and Quito. But geez, I used to see them. I mean, my gosh, there's must be like 20 of them just along the I-25 corridor. Nope, we got spammed again.
I know. Hide user.
So I find this interesting because sometimes I'll respond to you guys from our Live Abroad Now email and it gets blocked, but yet all this crap can come in.
Yep.
I don't get it. And all I'm doing is responding to your email.
Yeah, Corey, yes, we use Netflix. Hulu is available, all the streaming services. We used to use a Peacock streaming network, but we lost access. We also don't have a, what do you call it, a VPN on our router.
Right.
So I think if we had a router with a built-in VPN, we could probably stream that, but I'm not sure
Well, we just
about
moved
that.
on.
But Netflix works great.
Yep.
And also you get different programming too. So if we log in with the VPN, like on our laptop, you get different programming, or if we use a VPN to access different countries.
So yes, there are lots of nightclubs for dancing. So if you want to come and get your dance on, you will be happy. And Amy, if you thought Cuenca was too busy, you might really like Cotacachi.
Cotacachi. It's like a really laid back version of Cuenca.
It is. Really nice, super clean.
Lots of expats.
But it's not crowded. Yeah, and Vilcabamba is not bad too, but it was busy when we were there on that. Wasn't that a Sunday we were there?
Yeah, baseball is not huge in Ecuador. I think they play it in Guayaquil, but I haven't actually ever seen a baseball diamond anywhere. Have you?
No, I have not. And Uber Eats is available.
In the bigger cities.
We've seen it in Cuenca too. But
Cuenca is a bigger city.
That's true.
Cuenca, Manta, Salinas, all the big cities we've seen Uber Eats.
But Uber is not available in Cuenca. You can get Uber Eats, but you cannot actually get Uber. Wow.
The birds are going to give us away.
The birds have something to say about that.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me.
Jeez, I can't take you anywhere. A chance you miss Denver's first bit of, it's going to snow. Okay, it's going to snow in Denver tonight. For each spam you get, YouTube will pay you $100. Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
They owe us like $100,000 after the other day when we got spammed.
Become human. Sometimes the local Ecuadorian accent is a bit difficult on the coast, but after living there for a while, we got a lot better at it.
Didn't that fancy house have a bowling alley? Oh, that was the Aquarela.
Oh yeah,
Aquarela had a bowling alley. That was that complex in Cumbaya.
Yeah, that was the common area.
Yeah.
Did that? No, that didn't have a bowling alley. It was a fancy house though. Geez Louise.
Thanks, Carol. You want to read it? She addressed it to you.
Carol, she said you still cannot log into the Patreon page. That's weird. I'll send you some, I'm not sure what to do.
Yeah, send us a message through Patreon. Let's see if you're at least able to message us.
Yeah, if you could try that, because if you're only getting the membership links, something isn't working properly.
Yeah, I can't look at it right now, but we'll
check it out. So thanks for letting me know.
We have very, very little admin functionality on Patreon, unfortunately. So you may have to contact Patreon support, but we'll look.
Yeah, and I can help you find the links on all of that too, because they changed their website and they've made it a little bit tricky to track that stuff down.
Yes. What's the interest rate on savings? So at the co-ops, it's like 8% still.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if those have gone up yet with the interest rate hikes in the US, if that has any bearing. I don't even know, but
yeah, I haven't
the
heard
banks
anything.
the banks have different interest rates. They're like 4 to 5%, I think, but the co-ops are closer to 8 to 9%.
So Amy, I just saw that you're having the same issue. So it sounds to me like we're having a Patreon issue.
They probably fixed something.
Yes. I
It's
will.
like every time Patreon does anything to improve the system, it makes it worse and
Yes.
introduces new bugs.
So maybe we need to just try to do password resets.
Yeah.
So I'll check for both of you. I don't think you can you use Apple Pay here?
I don't know. I mean, I think somebody said that they did use Apple Pay recently.
Okay.
But they had the physical credit card.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you have a credit card, you could do it for sure. So, Mark, we never actually went to the golf and tennis club in Cuenca, but maybe somebody else can comment on that.
Yeah, I believe it is an invitation. It's private and invitation only. So you can't just it's not a public course from what we've been told.
Yes.
Yeah, Reese says Patreon is confusing. I know.
Oh, it is frustrating.
I have no idea who they hired as their UX designer, but they should be fired immediately. Oh, great. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate it. Alba Formoso. That's
Muchas
a cool
gracias.
name.
That is a cool name.
Alba Formoso.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Let's see. Headache is headache, nausea, like flushed, tingly feeling.
Altitude sickness. Symptoms. Yeah, you got to make sure you drink a lot of water too, because some people come and they get dehydrated.
Yeah, avoid alcohol and drink lots of water.
Mm-hmm. And just take it slowly.
Yep, and give yourself time. You might need naps. Oh, thanks, Amy.
Yes, thank you, Amy.
Yeah, that was our goal, was to hopefully save far more time and money than we charge.
Yes, and then what we spent, time, money, and headaches.
Yeah.
Figuring our stuff out when we moved to Ecuador.
Does Ecuador government have good relations with the U.S. government? I would say yes, for the most part they do. So there was like an improvised pipe bomb that went off in Guayaquil, and the U.S. sent two explosives experts from the FBI to help with the investigation. So I took that as a good sign that they're working well together.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say they have a pretty good relationship as far as country relationships go.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. We had a pickpocket. Do you face any bad elements or safety issues in Ecuador? We did get our pocket picked on the bus once.
Yep.
But other than that, we've never felt unsafe.
No, we're cautious.
Yeah, we don't go to places where we would feel unsafe.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you never know, because stuff can happen to you just like it did with us on the bus, but we weren't feeling unsafe at the time. That person, we just weren't paying attention. But yeah, we definitely try to do a better job of being aware of our surroundings, because there are certainly scams that happen that you need to avoid. Like somebody comes up to you and tells you that you have something on the back of your backpack and they try to get you to take it off. You want to run the other direction, basically. Geez, another one?
Yeah.
Isn't that like the third or fourth time?
I know. I keep hiding them, and it looks like the same account.
I don't know. Oh, well. Good thing you're paying attention, JP.
Yep. Amelia's smile is worth $1 million.
Oh, thank you.
I agree.
Thank you. I have a good dentist.
And a good dental regime.
Yes.
Or regimen. She calls it a regime. I think
mostly I do that just to irritate you.
So somebody said, why did you stop promoting the vegan lifestyle? I used to love Hello Veggie Lovers and the Dr. Greger references. Because we were vegan expats in Ecuador, and that was like 100 people that were interested in that. And we decided that if we actually wanted to grow our channel, we needed to focus on what people wanted to see from us, and that is expat videos. So yes, that's what we focus on. But hola veggie lover.
Yeah.
I know we still get people messaging us all the time saying, hola veggie lover. We know how long you've been watching if you say that.
And Corey, thank you so much.
Yeah, Corey Walton, thank you.
Really appreciate it. Very cute.
Let's see. Quick JP. Nice.
Oh.
I'm not sure what that is. Amazon is available. Amelia?
It is available. It takes like 7 to 14 days to get your stuff. Not everything will ship to Ecuador, so you do have to check all of that. And you probably are going to pay, I don't even know how much in fees. The shipping is more expensive, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. So you can use Amazon. What you can do is use tiendamia.com, because you can use their site to buy your stuff from Amazon. It will tell you what can be shipped to Ecuador and what cannot, and you will know the pricing up front. So all the fees and everything will be included in there. So it just makes it a little bit easier, but you can just go straight to the Amazon site as well. When you're doing your cart to do your checkout, you'll get notified if something is not available, if the shipper doesn't ship there. So it works.
Reese said he was one of those 100 that liked our veggie lovers.
Thanks, Reese.
Yeah, we really decided that our focus wanted to be on showing people how to live a more unconventional life. That's why we really had a heart-to-heart conversation.
Yeah.
When we decided to change our channel name and focus, because we realized that we really just want to help people live a more unconventional life. And
yeah, that was just one aspect of life.
And we feel like we can live by example. And if people are curious why we look younger in our recent videos than we did in our first videos, then we're happy to talk about what we eat.
Yes.
How to find a good dentist there. Ask a gringo. The gringos all know who the good dentists are. It really depends on where you are. In Cuenca, we recommend Dr. Grace Ordonez. She is incredible. In Manta, Top Dental.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of good dentists here in Ecuador.
Yeah, our neighbor was a dentist in Alone. I cannot remember his name to save my life now. And he also had has that office in Guayaquil.
Right,
we ran into him right next to the Sheridan.
Yeah. Brian's in Otorongo. Apartamentos Otorongo.
Hola, Javier.
Hola, Javier.
And hola, Brian.
Y Brian. And Samara. Irma Toliver. Muchas gracias.
Oh, thank you so much,
That's
Irma.
nice
we really appreciate it. That was very kind.
Yeah, somebody said we had older cooking videos. I know we actually removed most of those from our channel because we found out YouTube was punishing us by having videos that weren't relevant to our course. So we've learned so much about YouTube in the last 4 years about how to work the system so that our videos get shown to more people. So, our goal is to reach more people and help everyone understand that you can live an unconventional life and move abroad. And it's a life-changing, worldview shattering experience. And the more people we reach, the more people can hopefully think differently. Just do things that are different, that make you happy. Life's too short.
So true.
Our laptop's more expensive in Ecuador. Yes. Double, like double. Think double.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, definitely bring that with you. Bike stores, bike parks, all of that. Bikes are very popular in Ecuador, mountain biking and road biking. So you should not have a hard time finding stuff for your bike.
Do you think you would have ever considered living abroad if JP did not have his medical issues? Yes. Somebody asked earlier about if it was like the 80s or the 90s, would we have? And probably no, we wouldn't have thought about it because we felt
I don't know. I think we would have thought about it because I have thought about moving abroad ever since I first went to Mexico. And that was when I was in my early 20s. So I always knew I wanted to live in another country. I just never thought it would be Ecuador. And you said you felt the same way.
I know. It's different, though. I always had like the dream of living abroad. I don't know that either of us would have done it.
That's true.
If it was like the 80s and the 90s where you were paid a fair wage for the work that you do, where you have benefits, an employer pension plan, you have insurance you can afford, and healthcare you can pay for.
Yeah, maybe we would have just traveled.
Yeah, if you have those things, then I think we probably would have just stayed doing what we were doing and stayed in the US. But because those things are all gone now and we can't afford to live there and can't get healthcare, we left. And we're so thankful. And if we had it to do over again, we would absolutely do it. And I'm really still happy that we chose Ecuador as the place.
So am I.
Yeah.
So am I. Ecuador makes me very happy.
Oh, let's see. I just saw a question I wanted to answer. I lost it. It scrolled by. Everything scrolled by so fast. We have not been to Galapagos. It's on our list.
Any recent earthquakes?
Oh,
yes.
That's the one.
The earthquakes have been pretty consistent lately, all around like between 4 to 5. throughout the area, especially around the Manta area.
Ola Sabine Worth, cool name. You guys just try to stump me with your names. I'm horrible with name pronunciation. Where is like the John? Give me a John or a Bob, please. There's a Don French. I can pronounce that. Would Monte Cristi get a stamp of approval from the two of you? It's close to Manta and has a golf course beauty. Yes, we've heard great things about it.
Yeah, it is. Well, we spent a little time in Monte Cristi, but it is nice. The golf community appears to be nice, but we never did go and visit there. However, our next door neighbor used to go and play. Didn't he go like every day, or was it every week?
He went like every day, 5 to 7 days a week, and played golf.
Yeah.
And he drove there. They had a car. He drove there from Manta, Murciélago.
Yeah, and what is it, like 20 minutes away?
Yeah, it's not that bad of a drive.
But the community itself, the golf community, looks really pretty.
Would you consider getting a maid? I'm
laughing, sorry, because JP's been on me about this, but I like the flexibility of not having to worry about somebody coming all the time.
We had a house cleaner in Cuenca, Olón, and Manta.
Yes. So the answer to that would be yes.
And I would like to have one again.
Yes.
Because I can't do floors. That's my main issue. Doing the floors is way too much strain on my back. And I don't want Amelia to have to do the floors or the bathrooms either. I can't do like the showers or the toilets. I can't. My back does not do that.
But I like the fact that I don't have to worry about being locked in a set time all the time. I've been enjoying having the flexibility, but maybe I just need to let go of that. I don't know. Anyway, what happened?
I don't know. I'm trying to decide if somebody's arguing with us or someone else.
Oh, who knows? Hopefully not with somebody else. It's all about the love, people.
Let's see. Man, where did all of these comments? They must have scrolled by when I wasn't looking.
So
when we moved to Ecuador, were we like most Americans and assumed it would be just like the Spanish, that the Spanish is the same everywhere?
Kind of.
Yeah, we kind of thought it would be closer to Mexican Spanish, which is what we learned, and it's just not.
We were wrong. Yeah, and we will definitely admit it.
We can definitely pick out different accents now.
Yes.
Argentina is a lot different than Venezuela. Ecuador is different than Colombia. Mexico is different than all of them. Let's see. What coastal town would you suggest for someone that's mostly in a wheelchair? Probably Manta.
Manta, yeah.
Manta is very wheelchair accessible. There are ramps. The sidewalks are wider. Yep. The mall has elevators.
Oh. Tanhiro asked if there are Lego stores in Ecuador. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Lego store.
I've never seen a Lego store.
No.
Or Legos, for that matter. Let's see.
I'm sure there's Legos here. There has to be. Legos are international, aren't they?
Hello from Saigon. So cool.
Oh, very cool. Oh, Cuenca had an earthquake last night. Yeah. Earthquakes are common.
All right. Just want to make sure there wasn't any other. JP can't even pronounce the name. That's all initials.
That was awesome.
Those are hard letters. DGDW. That's a tongue twister.
That was good. That was funny.
Any need for English speaking RNs in Ecuador? Probably not at in a professional capacity, like at a hospital or medical building. They don't make that much money. You're not going to be happy with the salary. Talking like $500 to $800 a month.
Yeah.
But if you want to come here and offer those services to expats, you could probably find, they're not going to pay the same rate that you're getting in the US, but there will be people who are interested in hiring you.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely, especially for assisted living type things. So elder care.
We haven't heard about the new Nomad visa not going well. Only 20 have gotten it. I am not surprised at that though, because It's more difficult than any other digital nomad visa. We're a little disappointed with all the hoops that they're making people jump through for that visa, because their goal, they said, was to bring in 20,000 people in the next
Only
2
20 have
years,
gotten it.
and only 20 have gotten it. They made it too difficult. They should have modeled it after some of these other countries and made it easier, but also not made it permanent. The difference with Ecuador compared to, I think, every other digital nomad visa is that it can actually be converted
Right.
to permanent after 2 years, and you can stay here indefinitely.
I have not heard that there were any problems with it, but there's been issues just with delays in the government anyway. However, we should ask Maité.
Yeah.
We'll ask.
We're
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we're gonna do an interview with Maité soon.
Yeah, we're gonna get an update on some of the visa stuff. So
I'm guessing this is another
yeah,
spam.
I think you're right.
More spam. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess we're getting discovered by the spammers.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
Somebody says, people, there is one Spanish language.
That is very true. There's just a lot of different
dialects and accents.
Yes. Yeah, and it is interesting when there's like the Quechua here that is woven into some of the Spanish, especially in Cuenca.
Yeah, they closed the U.S. military base in Manta quite a while ago.
JP, we're going to have to probably wrap this up soon because my butt is getting sore.
I know, my back's really hurting. What's the best town to retire in the mountain areas? We always say to go start in Cuenca.
Cuenca?
Or Cuenca or Cotacachi, I would think.
Yeah. Vilcabamba is a good one too. It's got a thriving expat community and it is lower elevation. My only issue with Vilca is that it is farther away from well, I can't say major airport because Cuenca has its own little airport, but it's not major. There is a Loja airport, but that's what, an hour and a half from Vilca?
Yeah.
Hour and 20 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
But you're farther away in Vilca, you're farther away from like major medical services.
Yeah. What age do you suggest start being an expat? That's a great question. And I would say any age and as soon as possible. But the key is to bring your income with you.
Yes.
It's just, we're working on our online income fast track. We keep saying that it's going to be done soon, but
we're behind.
We're behind. But basically the key is to generate income online, and then you have location independence and you can live anywhere. But I would say start working on that, converting, if you don't already have a pension or retirement funds and you can't, live off of that without earning income. I would say focus on converting your income to online so that you can have location freedom.
Yes. And Simon, I saw your message, and hola. And yes, buskers are common throughout Ecuador, and I don't think anybody has a problem with them. We like them.
I'm 63 and still smoke pot. Am I a criminal in Ecuador?
Nope.
No, you're only if you try to sell it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, but it's legal to possess an ounce. Medical is legal, although it's easy to find CBD oil. It's not as easy to find anything that has the THC intact, but it is. I mean,
people get it.
Yeah, ask an expat.
Yeah, and Bernie, you're right. The problem is that you have to prove your income or I think you can do it if you can get a 2-year contract or a letter of proof of employment for 2 years from an employer. And most people don't have that, which is an issue too.
Yeah, because most states in the U.S. now are right to work states. They're not going to guarantee you a 2-year employment. So that's one of the things we're upset about with this. But if you have LLC, you can get around that. You just have to have online income.
Yes.
That's the issue, is that if you have a job and that's your income source, it's going to be a challenge. But if you work online for yourself, just form an LLC.
Right.
It's easy and cheap to do online in most states. So do it in a tax-free state though.
Yeah. And Become Human, we do both. We cook our own food. We actually cook at home a lot, but we also go out on occasion. We eat out more when we're traveling because we want to go out and soak up the local flair.
So yeah, it was El Universo. I haven't seen that. We monitor that, but we don't see everything.
No, I missed that one.
Yeah,
That
well,
is sad.
I know. I'm hoping that they
It's crazy.
adjust it and make it easier for the digital nomads. I mean, the government said that they want 20,000 digital nomads here. Well, you're gonna have to make it a little easier
Yeah.
if they really want that. And like we say over and over, Ecuador loves the expats because it's a free way for the government to import money, and the money that the expats spend in Ecuador fuels the whole economy. Well, not the whole economy. It fuels the economy.
No, yeah, it does not feel.
No, it's a significant line item in the budget, though.
Yes. And John, the machismo vibe is here in Ecuador. However, it is not like overwhelming. I don't know. You're a guy. What do you think? I don't really pay any attention.
The guys we know, the Ecuadorian men that we know, are not that, but they're also more educated.
We've seen a couple misbehaving and acting all machismo. So it is here.
Yeah, we definitely have. We haven't really experienced it firsthand, but
No.
we've definitely heard stories, and there is an issue with domestic violence, and a lot of that's driven by the machismo culture.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And yeah, we haven't had any problems with the Ecuador banking system. We've been fine with it, although we don't have a ton of money here.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to wrap this up because my back is really throbbing right now.
Your back and my booty.
Yeah. All right, guys. As a reminder, we still have the 20% discount off our Ecuador Expat Fast Track e-course. It's got 63 videos, covers everything from A to Z. And several people have said it saved them far more money than the cost of the course. So,
Yeah, thanks for that feedback. We appreciate it.
yeah. So we appreciate that. And leave us a like before you go.
Oh, yes, please. Leave
Yeah.
us a thumbs up.
Yeah. And stay tuned for our video on Thursday where we will talk about where we are right
Yes.
now.
Yeah. We're
So if you
pretty
guys
excited.
haven't figured it out, some people listen to bird sounds. They're like, I know exactly where they are from that bird.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They've actually caught criminals because they did recordings where there were birds in the background and somebody knew where that bird lived.
Wow.
That's incredible, isn't it?
That is incredible. Boy, you guys have good ears.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you
All right. Thanks
so
so much
much
for joining us.
We had a lot of fun, and
Yes.
we will see you on Thursday.
Yes.
Ciao.
All right. Ciao.